There is a force moving through your life right now, silent, invisible, yet more powerful than any storm you have ever seen. It does not announce itself, it does not knock before entering, it simply shapes, quietly, relentlessly, and with absolute precision. Every result you see around you, every victory, every failure, every opportunity that appears and disappears, all of it has already been touched by this force long before it became real in your world. That force is your thought. Before anything exists in your hands, it exists in your mind. Before something becomes your reality, it becomes your belief. And before belief takes root, it begins as a single fragile idea, so small you might overlook it, so quiet you might ignore it, yet so powerful it can alter the entire course of your life. Most people move through their days unaware of this force. They react instead of create. They drift instead of direct. They wake up each morning not realizing they are stepping into a world they themselves have been shaping all along. And so they blame circumstances, they blame luck, they blame the past, never realizing the architect of their future has been within them the entire time. Thought is not just a passive activity. It is not idle noise in your head. It is the blueprint of your existence. A man who constantly thinks of limitation will find walls where there are doors. A woman who sees possibility will find pathways where others see dead ends. The difference is not in the world they live in. The difference is in the lens through which they see it. History has always belonged to those who understood this, even if they could not fully explain it. Men and women who refused to accept the world as it was handed to them and instead dared to imagine what it could become. They held on to thoughts that others dismissed. They nurtured ideas that seemed unrealistic, and slowly, through persistence and belief, they bent reality to match the vision in their minds. Because thought, when repeated, becomes belief, and belief, when held with conviction, becomes action, and action, when sustained, becomes destiny. Look closely at your life, not casually, not defensively, but honestly. Every pattern you see, every cycle you keep repeating, every result that keeps showing up, ask yourself where it truly began. Not in the world outside, but in the silent conversations you have with yourself every day. The voice that says, "I can't," does not come from reality, it comes from conditioning. The doubt you feel is not proof of limitation, it is the echo of past thoughts that were repeated long enough to feel true. And what feels true begins to shape what becomes real. This is where the shift begins. The moment you realize that your thoughts are not just reactions, but commands. Commands to your mind, commands to your actions, commands to your future. And whether you are aware of it or not, you are issuing those commands every single day. When you wake up and tell yourself the day will be difficult, you have already tilted the scale. When you assume failure before trying, you have already taken the first step toward it. When you focus only on what is missing, you train your mind to ignore what is possible. But the reverse is equally true. When you begin to guard your thoughts, to choose them deliberately rather than letting them run unchecked, something changes. Not instantly, not magically, but steadily, powerfully, undeniably. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You begin to act with confidence where you once hesitated. You begin to move with purpose where you once drifted. Because your thoughts are no longer random, they are intentional. And intention is where creation begins. Clarity emerges from this awareness. Not the kind of clarity that comes from outside advice or temporary motivation, but the kind that rises from within when you finally take control of the one thing that has always been yours to control. Your focus sharpens. Your direction becomes defined. You no longer chase everything. You move toward what matters. Because when the mind is clear, the path reveals itself. And yet, clarity alone is not enough. There are moments when doubt will return, moments when the old patterns will try to reclaim their place, moments when the world will challenge the very thoughts you are trying to build. This is where belief becomes your anchor. Not blind belief, not wishful thinking, but a grounded, unshakable decision to trust in the vision you are creating, even when it has not yet materialized. Because every great transformation begins long before there is evidence to support it. And those who succeed are not the ones who never doubt, but the ones who refuse to let doubt become their master. They understand that the mind is both a battlefield and a tool, and the outcome depends entirely on who is in control. Right now, in this moment, you are standing at that exact point of control, whether you realize it or not. And what you choose to think next will begin shaping everything that follows.